locally produced farm radio show with agricultural news, information, interviews, in-depth weather, and more. It's Terry Henne and his Farm Show on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
A mostly sunny and very pleasant good morning to you. I hope your day is going well for you, wherever you might be. Terry Henne here at Radio Center, along with Matthew Lester. Beautiful sun out there. Very nice day. Started off a little bit on the chilly side. We'll talk about that in just a second. But by the time we're all said and done, we should work our way into that low 60-degree range, about 63. Normally, we should be at 59. And it does look like, at least for tomorrow anyway, we should be above average as well. But settling in for the tail end of the work week, things are going to get a little bit cool. We'll talk about that in just a second. Matthew, what do we have right now as far as our temperatures go?
So as far as our temperatures, over in Midland, it's sunny at 53. Over at the airport, it's sunny at 51. Here at Radio Center, it's sunny at 54. We have southwest winds at 7 miles per hour, and our pressure's at 30.08, and it's falling.
Very welcome as far as the lower wind speeds. All weekend long, we had to put up with 30, 32, 34 mile per hour winds coming out of the west. And for the most part, it was a little bit on the cool side. Chilly start to the weekend. We had a few snow flurries. Some of you did. Sunny at the end, but still some cool temperatures. And the winds really didn't die down until last night. Yesterday afternoon, we did have some wind gusts up to 31 miles per hour out at the airport, and a few other locations looking at 35 and 36 miles per hour. But it did taper off. And as a result, we did see some frost in a few areas. Temperatures got right down to the freezing mark, if not a little bit below. Just to kind of give you an idea, Ann Arbor, they started the morning off at 29. Bad Axe was looking at 28 degrees. Oil City over in Midland County, they were looking at 28 to start things off. Cass City over in Tuscola County had 29 degrees. And then, of course, you got a little bit further north where temperatures did cool down pretty good. Alpena, 22. Houghton Lake, 26. Pellston, usually the cold spot, came pretty close. They were at 20 this morning. Gaylord started off the morning at 28. Atlanta, 26. Detour Village at 25. East Tawas at 27. Gladwin, good morning to you. You started off at 29. Glenny at 25. Mayo, 22. Petoskey started off at some 20 degrees. We mentioned that. West Branch starting off at 27. Alger at 25. Got down into the teens. Atlanta has a reading here. One of their reporting stations, Michigan State reporting station up in Atlanta, 19. 18 degrees in Roscommon over the early morning hours. Now, over on the west side of the state, where, yes, there are some folks a little bit concerned, maybe not so much with the temperatures we saw overnight last night, but what's going to be happening on especially Wednesday night, they are going to be looking at temperatures in the low 20s. Ludington started off at 28, Big Rapids at 28, Alma at 28. So that is a little bit warmer than what they will be seeing once we roll into Wednesday night. Right now we're looking at a projected low temperature of 22 in a number of those areas right along the Lake Michigan shoreline, because we're not expecting much of a west breeze. We're expecting more of a south breeze. So we're not going to get the benefit of seeing the warmer temperatures from the lake spilling over into the west side of the state. So we'll just have to keep our eye on that. If the wind speeds die down, those temperatures will really be dropping down into that low 20-degree range. So what are we expecting here? 63 for a high. Clouds will be moving in a little bit later on. And the breeze is going to pick up a little bit later on this afternoon, coming out of the southwest, gusting to 25 miles per hour. Tonight, cloudy and breezy. We're only going to drop down to 51 for a low after our high of 63. We will be looking at a southwest breeze tonight, gusting to 30 miles per hour. And during the day tomorrow, we'll still have that southwest wind with gusts to 30, 65. So a little bit warmer tomorrow. Scattered clouds and some showers early in the morning, because after midnight tonight, we're going to see a system affecting our weather. A warm front is going to be pushing up through the state, and that is going to generate some instability in the upper air and a little bit of shower activity around, but widely scattered tomorrow morning. Later in the day tomorrow, much better chance of seeing some precipitation as a second front, a colder front, is going to be moving through. Now, in between, during the day tomorrow, we might have a glimpse or two of sun, but that's going to be about it. After a high of 65 tomorrow, 33 will be our low tomorrow night. Then on Wednesday, we're going to struggle to hit 40. I think we should make it up to about 42, becoming partly cloudy as we go through the day. High pressure will take up residence over Lake Superior. That's the reason why it is going to be so chilly, and because we will have some clearing skies. That is not boding well as far as Wednesday night, because along with those clear skies, temperatures will be dropping down, I think, in the Great Lakes Bay Area to about 26. Northern Michigan, the west side of the state, it is going to be colder than that on Wednesday night and early Thursday morning. Now, Thursday, we'll work our way back up to about 58 for a high, mostly sunny skies. Incidentally, Wednesday, the reason why we are going to be looking at some pretty chilly temperatures is because we're going to have a northeast wind to 30 miles per hour. So on the west side of the state, they're not going to benefit at all from any of the warmer waters in Lake Michigan. Thursday, sunshine, 58 for a high, 36 for a low on Thursday night. Then on Friday, partly cloudy, becoming cloudy. There is going to be a chance that will be widely scattered on Friday afternoon. Much better chance of seeing precipitation on Friday night. Friday's high will be 68. Friday's low will be 55. Then moving into the weekend, we'll be in the low 70s. Both Saturday and Sunday, there will be a chance, a little bit more scattered on Saturday or on Sunday. Much better chance of an overall rain on Saturday. Again, 72 for a high, only dropping down to 60 for a low on Saturday night. And then on Sunday with clouds, scattered showers, more in the way of scattered, 72 once again for a high. The above average temperature trend is going to continue then as we move into beginning with the weekend and running all the way through the 5th of May. Precipitation pattern will be slightly above for the first few days moving into May the 1st, and then average from May the 1st through the end of the week and into the weekend. Record high in this date is 87. That was set back in 1980. The record low was set 4 years ago and tied 3 years ago. 22 was the record low in 2020 and in 2021. Incidentally, the coldest ever, 22nd of April, was in 2020. 38 was our high, 22 was our low. The warmest ever, 1985 on this date, 85 was our high, 61 was our low. More on the weather as we go through the broadcast. Standing by, Matthew, who do we have?
Up next, we have Gary Kaufman from Star of the West, and we also have Doug Klein from Oppenheimer.
Well, before we get to them, we want to remind you the weather forecast brought to you by the folks at Nutrien Ag Solutions.
Nutrien Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrien Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrienagsolutions.com.
They say there's a secret to growing a great crop. At Nutrien Ag Solutions, they beg to differ. It all starts with a strong foundation, and when it comes to fertilizer, there's no question that Titan XE drives dry fertilizer performance. They've been unlocking the potential in every prill of dry fertilizer with biocatalyst technology for over a decade. Visit lpi.ag/Titan or contact your Nutrient Ag Solutions crop consultant to drive your crop's potential today. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at the Rummel Agency. You know, they understand the risk that you face as a Michigan farm and an agribusiness owner. Now, they know that each farm's needs vary like the crops in the fields, and they know you're more than just a number. They know you have a family, goals, and dreams for your future, and how important those things are to you. So at the Rummel Agency, they want to get to know you one-on-one so they can help get the right farm insurance protection for you and your family. The Rummel Insurance Agency, give them a call today. Along with us, Gary Kaufman over at Star of the West. Gary, good morning.
Hey, good morning there, Terry.
Well, did they have you do a little work around the yard over the weekend?
Well, you only do what you want to do, I guess, this time of the year. But, when you get our age, Terry, you just got to pace yourself.
Yeah, that's what I tell them all the time. They don't believe me.
Well, me either.
Well, hopefully the guys in Chicago pace themselves over the weekend. I don't know. Last time I looked, we weren't doing too bad, and it looked like wheat was having a pretty good morning.
Yeah, we finished positive across the board on Friday, Terry, and we got positives to start the week across the board. Yes, and with wheat leading the way, and we always say weather's going to play a role in this thing, and the unknowns and also play a role. But yeah, over the weekend here, we got wheat up. We've had some frost across northern Europe, from France to the UK to Poland to western Ukraine, and that's got the market shorts buying some of their positions back on all those cold weather concerns in the European Union, Terry. So yeah, wheat's up 26 right now. That puts the cash white at 571 and the cash red at 481. New crop's also up 26 at 588 on the white, 508 on the red. And riding along the rail here, corn's up 7 at 361 on the cash, and new crop's up 7 at 408. And actually, soybeans turned around. They were negative early on, but they're up 12 right now at 1078 on the cash, and new crop's up a dime, Terry, at 1091.
That's a big jump.
Yeah, there's also in Argentina, there's growing uncertainties following there's some corn stunt disease going on down there, and nobody knows the magnitude of that yet. So that's playing a role, in the corn arena as well. We had good export inspections this morning above what the market needs on corn. So a little bit of demand too. So all those factors giving us some positive numbers today. So
now, do we have any more reports here before the end of the month?
No, nothing in the grain side that I'm aware of. I think we just got to wait for our monthly May report. I think it's on the 9th, next the USDA next report is on our next report. So I don't think we got anything going on.
Yeah, I was wondering because I know we got some reports. We had some fireworks here throughout the month of April. And I didn't know if it was going to be early May or late May next time we get a report.
Yeah, the next report, I was trying to look at my cheat sheet here. I can't read it without my glasses, of course. You know how that goes. So.
Well, even with my glasses, I can't read my cheat sheet.
I think it's May 9th, though, our next USDA report.
Well, that makes sense. That makes sense. Gary, have a good one.
I will. You do the same. Thanks, Terry.
You bet. Talk to you later. Gary Kaufman over at Star of the West. A little bit more in depth, not only the grain markets, but some of the other related issues that you and I live on a daily basis. The market report brought to you by Schaefer and Beerline and Frankenmuth. If you're in the market for a new Ram commercial truck or Ram heavy-duty truck and you want to buy with confidence from a business-linked dealer that knows what customer satisfaction truly is, it's spring Ram commercial truck season going on right now. at Schaefer and Beerline and Frankenmuth, where family and service sells cars. Market Report also brought to you by Thumb Bank, making agricultural loans since 1895. They know the challenges, they're very demanding to the agriculture community, especially these days. And the bank will help you stay to date on industry trends and the trends of your operation. They've got locations throughout the Thumb and the Great Lakes Bay region. Thumb Bank, where relationships are built on trust, equal opportunity lender, and member FDIC. Doug Klein from Oppenheimer, good morning.
Well, good morning.
They're still throwing bombs around?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's just passe, I guess. That's just whatever. Boom, bomb, here, there.
Yep. And we're paying for it.
Yeah, a little bit. The stock market had its worst week since March of 23. So when I say stock market, I mean the S&P. So they're on a little bit of a bounce today, but not really that. They don't give you that warm fuzzy feeling. The advanced decline line is pretty negative. The new high, new low indicator is pretty negative. So I'm just saying it's time to be a little bit cautious on the stock market. Tesla hit another new low today. They're getting, I would call it eviscerated. Anything and everything in the electric car business is really getting hammered. Ford and GM kind of dodging that a little bit because they still have other businesses to fall back on, like cars with gas engines to sell. So that's still okay. The wheat chart is really looking very interesting with this latest rally today. And just by the way, if people are interested in doing that sort of a business in their IRA, they can. The corn is listed under CORN, the wheat is listed under WEAT, soybeans under SOYB. So it's not a leverage thing, that you can do with like on the futures market, but it's at least a participation and a diversification opportunity.
In your IRA?
You can, yeah.
Wow.
Just like GLD, you can do gold,
Yeah.
SLV, you can do silver, you can do the commodities too. So, no, like I said, I'm not recommending it, but it's there if you wanna go that way.
And if somebody's interested, they can ask you.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
exactly, and go through all the process of deciding if the risk is worth the reward or vice versa. So, well, anyway, so here's your numbers. The July corn 451 up 8 cents. December corn 472 3/4 up 6 1/2. July soybeans 1177 1/4 up 11 1/2. November soybeans 1170 3/4 up 9 3/4. July wheat is 593 up 26 1/4, and December wheat is 632 1/2 up 23 3/4. Crude oil fairly steady, 83.21 up 7 cents. Heating oil is 254.91 up 7/10 of a penny. Gasoline 268.68 down 2.35 cents, and natural gas 236 1/2. That's up a nickel. Over to currencies. Canadian dollar. U.S. dollar buys $1.3720 Canadian. That's down 33 ticks. The dollar buys 154.76 yen. They're holding pretty steady to keep that under 155. That's up 13 ticks. The euro's at 106.43, down 11 ticks. The dollar's at 106.22, up 7 ticks. Gold is at $23.50.70, down $63.10 an ounce. Silver's $27.43, down $1.56. Platinum's at $922.80, down $12.60. That copper's sitting at $4.50. It's down 2 cents. Did get a new high today, but couldn't hang on for the day. We'll see. The trend is still pretty solid.
Yeah, it sounds that way. Doug, have a good one.
Okay, you too.
Thanks a lot. Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Legendary Tree Care. If you need some tree trimming or tree removal, you might want to consider Legendary Tree Care, because no job is too big, no job is too small. They are fully licensed and insured, and they do specialize in the big projects. LegendaryTreeCare.com. That's how you can reach them, or check them out by going on Facebook. When we return, Jerry Samolsky will be joining us, but first this.
Do
The weather has been very difficult to predict over the last year and a half, and many farmers have not had a chance to address soil health. Let's make this spring the start of something great. Your soil prep partner, Morgan Composting, can't control the weather, but they can save you time and money.
Your fields already have nutrients locked in the soil. Dairy Dew Layer manure-based compost blends naturally release these nutrients, improve the biology, and help with moisture retention. Get a custom Dairy Dew blend made for what your soils and crops need to maximize your dollars and prep your farm for a healthy and profitable growing season.
With granulated fertilizers and powerful liquid amendments too, save time by getting your entire fertility plan made in one place. Morgan Composting, serving Michigan farmers for more than 25 years. Call the soil health experts now at Morgan Composting or visit dairydew.com to learn more.
Healthy plants come from healthy soil. Healthy soil comes from Dairy Dew.
Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Steiner Tractor, new parts for old tractors made easy. You know, they do take their job very personally at Steiner Tractor Parts. They understand how your life and job both stop if your tractor stops running. That's why if you need anything, and especially with the working season upon us, you want that tractor to work for you, or you want it to look pretty for an event coming up that you want to show it off, 800-234-3280, or go to their website, steinertractor.com. Say good morning to Jerry Samalski, Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville. And Jerry, a lot of folks working outdoors right now.
Yes, sir, Terry. And, you know, today is Earth Day. So with that said, you know, back in the early days when they had the Civilian Conservation Corps out working, they planted trees. And Earth Day and Earth Week is when planting trees becomes popular and kind of in vogue. So I think we should think about planting trees, Terry. Now's a great time to do it. You know, and I've often said, doesn't matter what the question is, the answer is plant trees. So regardless of any political persuasion, planting trees is always a good thing.
Now, I remember the soil conservation districts having tree sale seedlings. Have you seen any, or are you aware of any around?
They are, Terry. They're still selling their seedlings. It's more for reclamation type projects and more rural projects than urban. But no, soil conservation districts still have some seed programs. They may have gone to an order program. I'm not sure, but I'm sure you give the soil conservation districts a call in your county. They'll be happy to help.
Good advice. Jerry, thank you so much. You have a good one, okay?
Plant trees, Terry, every day.
Plant trees. Jerry Samalski, Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville. Vic Huffer joining us right now with Freeland Bean and Grain. And Vic, we're talking about planting trees. We're talking about planting crops too.
Yeah, pretty much everything is guys are getting antsy to put pretty much everything in the ground. I don't know, the colder temperatures don't excite me a lot on corn. Whether it's going to hurt it or not, it doesn't really make that much difference. Soybeans, I'm recommending guys to start planting soybeans, get their soybeans in the ground. Sugar beet planting, I think, is coming along pretty good. I haven't looked at the statistics, but I got to believe with some of the weather we've been having, we got to be pushing up to 70-80% planted on sugar beets.
Well, yeah, especially with the size of these planters nowadays. I mean, they can put a lot of beets in real quick.
Yeah, that's for certain. Got a lot of questions, guys calling me about wheat, spraying wheat with herbicides. I'm a little reluctant with last night's little bit of frost. Frost may be coming tomorrow night. Spraying wheat, especially with certain herbicides, can injure wheat pretty badly. The injury can be pretty severe, especially when you're using certain herbicides. If they're using a dicamba, if they're using sulfonylureas, if they're putting any fertilizer in a tank with it, you could see some major adverse effects on your crop. My rule of thumb from the guy I talked to that's been in the wheat industry for a long time was at least 2 days either side of a frost before a herbicide application, just to make sure that they don't have those issues, because it can cause a major problem. You know, on another note, spraying crops, chickweed is pushing on pretty hard everywhere. Roundup is your best line of defense against chickweed. It controls it fairly easily. We're seeing a lot of fields getting green, and I'm recommending the growers get started spraying when they can. We're running both machines today, spraying corn, spraying soybeans, just trying to get some of that early herbicide out there to get things keep things under control so they don't cause a problem. Chickweed is a weed that if it gets a little bigger, then trying to work it out with a field cultivator with some sort of a tool can be tough to get it all out of the field to where you're going to get it clean. I just recommend people, if they're going to put a herbicide out there, put it on before, till it lightly. That way when they go to plant, they can incorporate that herbicide.
Very good. Victor, thank you so much. Good information. We appreciate it.
You bet, Terry.
All righty. Talk to you later. Vic Huffer over at Freeland Bean. We'll be right back. Do you have a yield monitor in your combine? Do you print off a pretty picture every year, but you don't know what to do with it? Why don't you have PC Ag Solutions analyze your data to help you make profitable decisions for the upcoming season? We can help you analyze your data from your planter, sprayer, or combine and compare it to your soil types and nutrient availability. Anything from the planting date to your speed, population, and variety to elevation, drainage, and in-season applications. We can help you make the most profitable decision on your farm. Call us today, 989-868-4444. Back at 12:30 with an update. Now we conclude with the playing of our national anthem.
Broadcasting from the Stormmaster Exterior Studios, WSGW, Saginaw Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Steve Kathan. Historic day in New York, opening statements at the criminal trial of a former U.S. president, Donald Trump. CBS's Robert Costa is covering.
The prosecution making its case against the former president, not only that hush money payments were made, but that he allegedly engaged in a criminal scheme ahead of the 2016 election to cover up alleged